ancestral land. The march was an admirable gesture that showed the resilience of people fighting for what is right. However, we must not make a habit of placing such a burden to our citizens, especially the poor, when the most basic document of our democracy has made the responsibilities of the state clear. The provision for affordable housing and basic services for homeless citizens was written in 1987. But when I was HUDC chair, I found out that there was an almost 5.7 million backlog in houses that needed to be built by the government. There were 27 requirements and steps that must be taken before a company can even begin socialized housing projects. No wonder it takes a while before the first bag of cement can be bought and used. We pushed to reduce the 27 requirements to as low as 9 before I left. I hope they continue to adopt it. Sections 15 and 16 of the Constitution call for spaces for people participation and adequate consultation. Yet, it has been a struggle to pass the People Empowerment Bill, which I filed when I was still a member of the House of Representatives. Section 9, Article 10 also calls for local sectoral representation, but we know that until now, no law has been passed to make this happen. The Commission on Human Rights and the CBCP are now leading initiatives for human rights awareness. The campaigns they plan to conduct in churches and communities feature a human rights module to inform people on the courses of action they can take in defense of their rights. Among the stakeholders tapped for this initiative are members of the academe and lawyers groups. These campaigns require extraordinary courage at a time when the words human rights have been given an entirely new meaning, as if human rights were distasteful things and those who work to defend it are doing a disservice to our nation. Unfortunately, knowledge of the law does not always prevent abuses. This is why the only way for us to survive these dark times is to survive it together. If we study the history of humanity, we will see that it is only when human connection reaches the right depth, when we recognize the inherent value of each other's liberties. After 2 world wars, we reached a prime conclusion enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that, and I quote, the recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world, close quote. It is a truth we would benefit from remembering. Sadly, today, we seem to be doing the exact opposite. I wonder when we started forsaking the truth. At what point did we begin to regress into the mindset that we can take the freedom of others into our own hands? The common denominator for this abuse of the regulations is poverty. If we as a people redirect our political will and resources to long-lasting solutions for poverty, instead of the more divisive wars we are waging now, no one loses. When I took my oath as Vice President, and when the President took his own oath of office, we vowed to defend the Constitution and to do justice to every man. My commitment is to fight for the rights of the poor, marginalized, and disenfranchised as a human rights lawyer before, only strengthened when this position was given to me by the Filipino people. And every week, since my oath-taking last June 30, exactly 33 weeks by today, I replace office attire for regular street clothes to go to the farthest and poorest municipalities in the country of our people. Yesterday, we just arrived from Barangay Udalo in Piagapo, Lanao del Sur, from Tangkal, Lanao del Norte, from Dayawan, Marawi City, and from Sagyaran, Lanao del Sur. These are conflict-ridden areas where almost no one dares to visit because of security concerns. In so many of these areas we visited, residents choke with tears when they see us, saying it is the first time that they are visited by a national government official. It would have been much easier for us to just send a team to do interviews, conduct needs assessment, and render us a report. But there is something very critical about finding time to walk where they walk. As we let ourselves experience some of the difficulties they face, we build empathy. And we bring the government down to the people, giving them hope that they have not been forgotten. This is our way of defending the Constitution and doing justice to every man. We make it a point to be with the poor, sharing their tears and their heartaches, and thereby establishing that the government has empathy for their troubles. Even as my team and I leave their homes with broken hearts, we vow to return, not just with help, but also programs to make them believe in their own capacity to uplift their own lives. Our way of defending the Constitution and strengthening our institutions is to speak the truth and show our people that there is nothing wrong with speaking dissent, that it is our right and sometimes also our burden. Our children's children must see that our society will not silence anyone who believe they have something to tell. It has been decades since the institution of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the 1987 Constitution. One would think that we should have been long past debating fundamental rights. However, as I said, these are extraordinary times. These are particularly challenging times for our profession. You are here, and therein lies the promise. Since the beginning, it is during times of extreme darkness when the world discovers extraordinary leaders. Think of Jose Abad Santos, the fifth Justice of the Supreme Court, who chose to give up his life instead of collaborating with an oppressor. Think of Nelson Mandela, whose leadership entered apartheid in South Africa. Both chose to remain unmoved in their principles, no matter how difficult the path that they have faced. The darkness, terrifying as it may seem, has the ability to define the light and the truth, and allowing those who are brave and selfless to shine. We do not seek darkness, but we must not fear it either. This quote from Thomas Paine's The Crisis says it clearly, and I quote, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of men and women. Tyranny like hell is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated." Close quote. Now more than ever, the Philippines needs its lawyers to have the audacity, the courage, and the tenacity to be on the side of human rights and freedom Let us safeguard our Constitution against abuses, prevent our institutions from weakening, and save our people from their disillusionment. Our fellow Filipinos need our leadership. Thank you all very much, and may you have a very productive convention ahead.
Thank you very much, VP Leni, for your enlightening topic on empowering the people through law. At this point, IBP National President Attorney Reyes, together